a secret place in the forest. The birds sang merrily among the green, long, leafy branches of the trees, while Jimmy ran around them looking for butterflies as he used to do. "Don't hide, little friends," exclaimed the boy as he watched an emerald green butterfly fly away from him. "I won't hurt you." Every time he tried to get close to one, it would fly away, making Jimmy feel sad because he just wanted to look at them up close. He hated it when his other friends took them and locked them in jars. He used to set them free, and that's why his friends got mad at him and sometimes stopped inviting him to play. But Jimmy didn't care much about this because he knew it was the right thing to do. No animal should be trapped because he knew how boring it was to be stuck in one place without much to do. It reminded him of when he got sick and had to stay home all day. So boring. Jimmy returned home tired from running, and even though he didn't get to see many butterflies, he was happy to know they were always flying around freely. "Mom, I'm home!" he exclaimed. His house was in the forest, and it was gorgeous. It was made entirely of wood, and sometimes he imagined that he lived inside a tree. "Hello, little one. I'm so glad you're back. I was wondering where you were," said his mother. She was a thin but strong woman who was always baking cakes and cookies. She sold them at the village market. "I was chasing the butterflies as usual. Today was a beautiful day, and I wanted to enjoy it as much as I could." "Where's Betty?" asked Jimmy. "She's looking for the berries I need to make the jam for the cake," his mother replied, pulling a small sack of flour from the pantry. "Yum! Did someone order a berry pie from you? They must have very good taste. You know that's my favorite pie." "I know, son. That's why this pie is for us," said his mother, smiling. "Really? Thanks, Mom. It's been a while since you've baked that kind of pie." "I know. That's why I thought it was time to spoil us a bit." And they both laughed. The door opened, and Betty, Jimmy's older sister, came in. Jimmy noticed that she was empty-handed. "Hello, sweetheart. Did you find the berries?" "I'm sorry, Mom. I've been looking all over the area, but apparently someone has eaten them all." "Maybe it was Jimmy who did it," Betty said, elbowing her little brother good-naturedly. "It wasn't me. Now that you mention it, it's true. I haven't seen many berries around here for a while now." "Oh, but my friends were telling me about a place that is full of berries of different colors," he exclaimed. "It's a pity you couldn't find any berries, Betty. Jimmy, where's that place you were talking about? Perhaps your sister can go and have a look," said his mother. "The boys said it's across the river," Jimmy replied. "I see. Well, I'm afraid it won't be possible. The river is too far, and that place is very lonely. Besides, your father told us he heard some wolf howls over there," said Mother, sitting down. "I think I'll make a peach pie instead." "It's not fair, Mom. If Betty doesn't want to go up there, I can do it. I'm not afraid of wolves. I'm brave like Dad," said Jimmy. "I know, little one. You're fearless, and I'm very proud of you. But I'd rather you didn't go. I don't like the idea of you being so far from home." "Why not, Mom? It's still early. If I leave right now, I can be back before dinner, and then you'll still have a chance to make us a berry pie." "It's not a good idea, little brother. Mom doesn't want you so far away," Betty said. "That's right, Jimmy. Don't worry about it. We can make the berry pie another day. Don't go that far away from home ever. Promise?" asked his mother. "Okay, Mom." "Okay, Mom," Jimmy replied, disappointed. "I'll go play outside." "It's okay, honey." Jimmy left his house and kept imagining that place full of berries of all colors, and he felt the need to go there, but he didn't want to disobey his mother, so he had no other options. As the boy made his way through the trees, he was pleased to see a monarch butterfly perched on top of a beautiful flower. Carefully, Jimmy approached it until he could finally get close enough to appreciate every detail. His heart was pounding with excitement, and he couldn't help but let out a giggle that caused the butterfly to start flying. "Wait, don't go away!" exclaimed Jimmy, running after the butterfly. Little by little, the butterfly was moving away from that place, and so was Jimmy. The next thing he knew, they had reached the river. Jimmy stopped when he realized that he had gone far away. "I'm a long way from home," he said quietly, as the butterfly flew out of sight. The river wasn't deep at all, so Jimmy was really tempted to disobey his mother and cross over until he reached the berry patch. He thought about it for several minutes and finally decided that he wanted to try. "I'll just tell Mom that Betty didn't search hard enough and I found some close to home," thought the boy. So, Jimmy started to cross the river. The water was cold, but it was barely at his knees. It didn't seem likely that anything bad would happen, so he kept going. And when he found himself on the other side, he was happy and decided to keep moving. He had to hurry, or his mother would get suspicious and start looking for him. Not seeing him around would make her worry. Jimmy had to keep his mother from worrying. An intense smell of flowers began to reach the boy's nose, making him very happy. He felt so eager to explore this new place. "Just a little while longer until I find the berries," thought Jimmy. As he walked, flowers of all colors began to appear around him, and his heart rejoiced to see many butterflies fluttering among the carpet of flowers that spread all over the area. The butterflies flew up to the boy, and he could not believe what was happening. It was the first time he had experienced something so beautiful. "Oh!" exclaimed Jimmy, as he saw a beautiful bunch of berries. It was true! Jimmy ran to the berries and picked one. As he tasted it, he felt it was the most delicious berry he had ever eaten. So he ate another and then another one. In front of them there was a path and more berries, so he ran over there and began to pick small bunches of each of the colors that were there: red, yellow, green, and magenta. As Jimmy went deeper into that path, more berries appeared, and he picked as many as he could. But after a few minutes, his pouch, his pockets, and his hands were full of berries. Jimmy turned back and realized that every direction looked the same. "Where is the way back?" he wondered, concerned. Jimmy had gotten lost in that secret place in the forest. His heart began to pound. Jimmy had gotten lost in that secret place in the forest. His heart began to pound. He went in one direction for a while, but then turned around and went in another. There didn't seem to be a way out of that place. "I'm lost," the boy admitted, and then began to cry, "Help! Help!" His voice echoed in that place, but the only response he got was the beautiful song of the birds that watched him from the top of the trees. Jimmy felt very sad and dropped the berries he had in his hands, and running, he tried to get out of there, but he didn't know which way to go, so he didn't make any progress in getting back home. After running for a while, he got exhausted, and he leaned against a huge tree that looked very old. Something about that tree made Jimmy feel safe, though he couldn't stop the tears that welled up in his eyes, sliding down his dirt-soiled cheeks. Little by little, Jimmy calmed down and started to get sleepy. He had almost fallen asleep when something strange happened. The boy heard a little grunt. No, it wasn't a grunt. It was more like a snore. "Why are you crying?" said a sleepy-sounding voice. "Have you been bitten by an insect or something?" Jimmy got up at once when he realized that the voice was coming from the tree he was leaning against. The boy looked up at the tree, and then he noticed that it began to move as if it was stretching. Suddenly, a big mouth came out of the branches and gave a big yawn. "You can talk?" Jimmy still didn't believe it. "But you shouldn't talk." "Why shouldn't I talk?" "You talk," replied the tree. "Trees don't talk. That's not normal," Jimmy said, though he felt excited and was still just processing what was happening. "Although I must admit it's fantastic." "I guess so. Why are you crying? And what's your name, anyway?" the tree asked. "Jimmy. My name is Jimmy." "Jimmy. Good name. I'm Fireman. It's nice to meet you." "I'm crying because I'm lost." "Are you really? Where is your family? Why haven't they come to look for you?" asked Fireman. "They haven't come looking for me because they don't know I'm here," Jimmy admitted. "And I don't know how to get back." "They don't know you're here? That's a serious thing. Are you here without permission?" "Yes. My mom forbade me to come near these places because it was far from home. But I just wanted to find a few berries so my mom could bake a delicious pie," replied the boy. "You meant well, although that does not make what you did okay. You must apologize to your mom for disobeying, little one," said the tree. "I know. I'm so embarrassed." "Well, get some rest. You'll see that in a moment everything will be all right." "Are you asking me to rest? My mom must be looking for me. I need to get out of this place. I don't need to rest," exclaimed Jimmy. "Trust me, little one," said Fireman, and those words sounded so beautiful. They touched Jimmy's heart, and at once the boy felt confident. Jimmy lay down near the trunk of the tree and soon fell asleep. After a few minutes, Jimmy opened his eyes. He was still quite sleepy, but he could see that the tree had taken him in its branches and was moving slowly as if it was walking. Jimmy smiled and went back to sleep. When Jimmy woke up, he saw the giant tree walking away from him. So, it was walking, thought Jimmy, as the tree winked at him and waved goodbye with one of its long branches. "Jimmy, Jimmy, there you are. the boy heard his mom's voice. "Mom, here I am. I'm all right," Jimmy replied, and was glad to find himself at home in his own garden. "Where were you?" his mom asked, hugging him very tightly and kissing his forehead. "I thought you were lost, sweetheart." "Mom, I've disobeyed you. I went to fetch the berries on the other side of the river. I am so sorry." "I forgive you, my son, but don't ever do anything like that again. Your sister and I were very worried." "Look, Mom!" Jimmy pulled a big handful of berries out of his pouch and placed them in his mother's hands. "How wonderful! Let's make berry pie." The end.